Hey, so I am here in the middle of nature, getting some air. So I just want to speak about why did I stay? That is the $1 million question for every abused woman. Why did she stay? Well, there are so many different answers to that because there are so many different situations that happen within that abuse that comes with so many different emotions. Because remember now that there is a moment of breakup and then there's a moment of makeup. Because it's not as if the abuse just happens right through without any interruption of that man saying to you that, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Oh, yes, it comes with all of that. They come with the sweet talk, and then you want to believe that they're being true. You want to believe that they really won't do it again because you want to save your marriage, you want to save your family, you want your children to grow up in a home where there's mom and dad together. And so you want to believe that, okay, maybe this time he really won't do it again. Or maybe if it's a situation where the law was involved, you'll think, okay, maybe he has learned his lesson. Or maybe it has put some sort of fear in him so he won't do it again. And remember, women are emotional beings. So it is just very easy for a woman's heart to be so attached to the man. And so it's not easy for that woman's heart to let go, even though she's being abused, even though she's being mistreated. The love does not go like that. And so many times we're like, how can she still love that man after that man has hurt her? Because even though she might be hurt physically or emotionally or mentally, it doesn't knock the love out of her heart. That love that she felt for this man when the days were good, when things were wonderful, it still remains there. And so there is a struggle with that, inner struggle. You know that this person is hurting you, and the hurt is so painful, but you're still struggling with what you feel in your heart for this man. And that's just the way it goes. Before I got married or even experienced anything like this, I have said many times that if a man hits me or abuses me, when he hits me, the love is going to be knocked out with it. But guess what? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't happen that way. The love remains right there in that woman's heart. And so there goes the struggle. So the woman has to find the inner strength to leave. She has to find the inner strength to escape the abuse that she's enduring. She has to find the inner strength to say goodbye. And everyone can say, that's foolishness, that's ridiculous, no way. But only until it happens to you. I used to say the same thing before even being in marriage. But until it happens to you, because I've seen abuse happen to the strongest of women, the toughest of women, women who are in high status. It can happen to anyone at any time, because you never know when that man will switch, when life will switch that man, or something that's on the inside will switch that man into being or becoming abusive. Because it is said that hurt people hurt people. So sometimes that man is dealing with things from the past or an even generational curse from his father being an abuser, and it got passed down, right? Or he has seen that as a child and then became an abuser. Strange, right? Why would that person become an abuser when they have seen their own mother got hurt from abuse? But sometimes it happens that way. And so hurt people hurt people. And so why did I stay? There was a time I stayed because I just want to pray it away. I've said that many times. There's another time I stayed because I want my marriage to be saved. When I came in this for forever. And oh my God, how painful it is and how shameful it is that this marriage is breaking apart. I stayed because I want my children to grow up with a mom and a dad. I stayed because I'm believing that one day God is going to change him. I just have to wait for that day. But not realizing that the other person, he has to receive that change. He has to receive and acknowledge that there is a problem and that he has a problem. Without that acknowledgement, God will not force you into deliverance. He will not force you into change. That man has to accept and receive that change and accept and receive that something is wrong. Without that acceptance, because God gives us free will, that man will not change. That man will not change. And so I've stayed because of shame as well. Oh my God, I need God to just fix this, repair this, because how can I let others know that I am being abused? How can I let my family know I'm being abused? How can I let my friends know I'm being abused? How can I? I just want this to go away. I want it to disappear. Please, God, fix it. And so there are many reasons why I stayed. There was a time I stayed when I really decided that, oh man, I have to get out of this. This has to end now. I stayed because I worried about not having my children. It would destroy me if the situation ended with me not having my children. It would destroy me. I cannot live without my children being with me. And so I knew how certain connections that he has, even with authorities based on community work. And so I know he's very charismatic, so he knows how to speak, how to talk, how to sound real and true. And so I was afraid of that if I just walked out the door with my children, then he could just simply say, oh, she kidnapped them or something like that. Something for me to get in trouble with the law. And then my children get snatched from me. I couldn't bear the thought of that. That would just destroy me. Destroy me. And so when I got to the point where I decided that I have to get out of this, I needed to see a way out where my children are coming with me and there would be no issues in me keeping my children. Not that I would keep the children from him, from seeing him, but I need my children to be with me. And I'm sure every mother, every good mother can identify with that and understand that part. And so there are many reasons why I stayed, and there are many reasons why other women stayed, but it all goes back to the heart. We are emotional beings, women, and so it all goes back to the heart. The heart doesn't just pull away like that. That's why it takes time for you to get over somebody. Yes, it's not that easy. And so that's what really holds you to that person and holds you to that situation. Even though it's bad, the heart is weak for that man, that husband, that boyfriend. That's just the way it goes. Women are emotional beings. And there's also a thing called soul tie. Your soul spiritually becomes tied with that man, especially when sex happens. It's a spiritual tie that occurs. That's why you should only have sex with your husband, that person you get married to. Because anyone you have sex with, there's a spiritual tie, a soul tie. And so a soul tie happens with your husband or whoever you're with. And so it ties to the heart. And it's not easy to just let go, to just pull away, to just ignore what you're feeling for that man. And you just want that person who you fell in love with, that awesome person that you met in the beginning. And sometimes when, you know, that person says to you, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, then they show that sweet side, it just pulls you back in. But I had to get to the point where those sweet words. So someone called me, so it interrupted my recording. But just to pick up from where I left off, so I had to get to the point where I couldn't let those sweet words to talk me back in, to pull me back into that life of abuse. I had to get to the point where I didn't allow those sweet words to get to me anymore. I had to get to the point where when those words came in my ear, it just bounced off like a ball bouncing off of a wall that has no effect, right? That those words, I had to get to the point where those words could not penetrate my heart and my emotions anymore. And I did not do it by myself. God gave me the strength this time, the extra strength, and also just remembrance that it's just gonna do a replay. You know, it's like playing a record and you stop it, but then you do a replay on it. So the abuse just replays and continues, right? So I had to get to that point where I gained that inner strength to not return to the abuse. So God is good. I thank Him for that extra strength. And I had to put my foot down and do what I needed to do to protect myself, ensure my children are good, and God is good. So many reasons why a woman stays, and only if you're in the situation you'll understand those reasons. But know that it can happen to anyone, and be sensitive to those who are still in it. It is hard to just leave. It is hard to just get out, but encourage them to leave. Show them the danger as much as you can. Show them what's happening to other women, show them that anger and rage is capable of anything. Some don't see that that person could go to that extent to kill, but you got to remember what you're dealing with: a spirit of anger and rage. That person is capable of anything, right? That is an unstable person when anger and rage is ruling you. When anger and rage takes you over, anything is possible. So help that person, that woman, encourage that person, show them the danger, and just be sensitive. You might not fully understand why that person stays, why that woman stays, but it is not easy. Thank you for listening.